apart from the both of you, who are the other actors that are larger part during shoot?
I mean, the kid.
Ritvik was so good.
Yeah?
There's not one retake I can think of
Because of
because of him.
We would forget lines, you know.
We would forget lines. Oh, we'd mess up.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a sequence where he's asleep and both of us are talking and I say something and she reacts loudly and he wakes up.
Yeah.
But between takes, for setup or whatever, we're taking time. And he's always lying there with his eyes closed. And he could have very easily fallen asleep for a child of that age.
Right.
But he was there.
But as soon as they call action and as soon as it's his cue to wake up, bang on.
Nice.
So I feel like there's one time where he messed a line up. We're all like,
How could you?
Yeah.
How could you?
did you mess up a line? And he was like,
It's like, is it that
and
wrong?
we all put him in the spot. We're like, oh my
Finally,
God, you're
one
normal.
mistake with this kid.
True.
But he's adorable and he is so well prepped. Knows all his lines, knows all his beats, knows
Very
all
hardworking,
his
disciplined.
hardworking. Such a good kid.
Yeah.
So I loved the experience of working with him. But I think the entire cast, as in not just the home situation, like even the bank. I feel
bank,
like
yeah.
Every single cast member there, I feel like we all almost live like that is our workplace and we all have roles to play. There's a gentleman who plays the security guard. Every single day of shoot, he's already there in uniform. And when I'm walking in, he'll salute me. And we have so many interactions in the film. And I feel like in the most distant shot where he's there in the background, he's still standing there. Like,
And you know,
it's amazing. And every other character in the bank, for me, and we almost operated in that same manner. Some 45 days we shoot in the bank set. So every day at 6 p.m. when they call pack up, we'll all leave the bank together.
So it's like,
you know,
you're
like
almost bank
actually
employees
looking
all
like
exactly. So
getting out of the same place.
like a factory, the bell or whatever rings and everybody exists together. We'll all pour out of the bank like that. I've never had these kind of experiences. I remember there was a day when I think we finished early and all the bank actors.
You were going to say we bank employees.
All the bank
What was going to come out of your mouth?
so they all kind of got into regular clothes and they all want to take photos and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this is how all of you look like, because when in period attire and work clothes of that time, they're all very like formal looking and like hair done up and
Correct.
and then now they're like cool, young, colorful,
Peppy.
hair open and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, like I can't imagine all of you like
All of these guys like this.
beautiful.
See, like as soon as I heard first from Venki about what Lucky Bhaskar was, right? Like just the fascination of taking money from a bank and just going away was just a happy idea.
Big spoiler. In there.
No, I mean that's what I like. Just bank money.
Sure.
And I always wanted to loot a bank, like in my life. And like, what is that energy? Like, there's a writer called Sridhar Raghavan, who's a friend of mine. He said every time you can take money from somewhere, it will be a blockbuster because all of us want to do it.
Because we're conditioned to. Are we allowed to reveal this?
Oh no, so it's not. Then we'll chop it in.
Okay.
Venki will take whichever piece he wants.
Sure. Okay.
They'll put
I
piece
think our
after it.
conditioning, right? Like, our conditioning is so much to behave and do the right thing and follow the rules and the law and abide by it and not really stir up any kind of hornet's nest. So when we see films where or when I see true crime dramas of any type, you're always wondering, how can you do that? Wow, like it really takes some guts, or like it really takes sort of some dismissing of your integrity or your understanding of right and wrong to go and do this, And I think that's what we find kind of heroic. Like, wow, this takes another kind of guts. This takes another kind of like bravery to do this, because the rest of us are so boxed by conditioning.
Yeah.
So I think that's the fascination.
Okay, when I meant bank and money, I actually was talking about Nagavamsi. So Vamsi is right. He's a dear friend I worked on with Bimal Naik. I did a film with Sitara, and he is so different from all the producers you normally see in a classical sense.
For sure.
So he had something which now became very viral and popular. I have to talk about it.
Sure.
He said day one is going to be 100 crores, and that's how he's beginning his campaign for this film.
Just to make it clear, in 13 years of my career, almost 40 films, I still haven't hit 100 crores. So if this does 100 crores day one, I will be the happiest person. I will probably be like Vamsi. I'll have a framed picture of you in my home.
But tell me, how is it with Stara, with Vamsi, Chinmabur, all of all of them?
No, they've been lovely and they've been very supportive of the film. But I remember there was one, I feel like we were maybe 30% of the film. And Vamsi is very confused. So he's not the kind of producer that's like meddlesome, like he doesn't overly interfere.
Yeah.
But he does, visit from time to time to sort of show his presence and make sure, like, you know that he's around. And that's good. I think that's healthy as producers. If you're there every day, like, there are a lot of producers who sit there from all day to seem like, the clock is ticking and, like...
There's that nervous energy.
Correct.
Because
So you're like, if we go over... But he doesn't do that. Like, he comes from time to time. So one day he wanted to meet me and he's like, sir, is everything going as... Do you think it's going okay? Because, this is not a typical... massy commercial film with fight and dance and songs and all this stuff, but we're still going this many days, we're still shooting so much. You sure it's okay? And I was like Vamsika, this is not a type of film that even I've attempted, nor is Venki. And I think I've done one heist film before, and when you do any... Should I reveal heist film?
We'll just block this and we'll just beep it. They'll think it's something wrong, bad we're talking.
But I'm saying, okay, certain genres of films need a certain amount of shots and angles and stuff to either increase pace, decrease it, slow it down, speed it up how you want in edit. So we do need a number of shots, especially in certain sequences. So I was like, I do understand what Venki is. There's no wastage. We are not traffic.
We're not just blowing up.
No, we're not. So he's like, okay, sir, you're sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. Okay. Then beyond that, there's no conversation about this, which I liked. Because he was trying to understand. I think as a producer, he's seeing us shooting and he's like, this is just some bank, house, and there's some done. Like this should be a quick film without so much effort.
On paper, the idea of...
Correct.
It's usually a strange thing when we assume that if there's no song and dance or there's no big action sequence, we feel like the film should get over fast.
Because you can break down song, dance and fights.
Yeah.
You can be like, one song 4 days, this song 5 days, this fight 12 days, whatever.
Correct.
There is a calculation.
But for drama, you don't know how to break it.
You don't know how to do it. I think we're facing the same
We are
thing
facing
with
this.
Kanta. With Kanta. We're like,
oh, this is how long it takes? Okay, no problem. So now this film is out on the 31st of October. And it's out across India in 5 languages.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, what is your expectations of each?
I'm beyond, I think. I've not... These past 2 years have been the slowest in my career in a very long time.
Hey,
I usually have...
Stop saying that.
Seriously, I usually do at least 3 films. If you see my contemporaries in Malayalam, they're all at like 5 films, 6 films. My dad is at 5, 6 films. So when I'm like 1 film a year for 2 years, it's almost unprecedented. Like there is no...
So here, but in Telugu, they think you're an actor who does films very fast in Telugu.
I need to speed things up. Because I signed the film thinking it's a 3-4 month film. It's taken
a
year. So I think for me, the joy, the excitement is the fact that I am coming out with the film after 14 months. So, and irrespective of how it fares in each of the languages, I think we've made a good film.
Nice.
And I think the subject is very Indian, very universal in that. I think 80% of India is either Bhaskar or knows a Bhaskar or relates or connects to a Bhaskar. I think for me, when I first heard the script, what I connected with it, I was like, if some decent percentage of the audience walks out of the cinema halls at the end of the film feeling like they are Bhaskar in some way, we have a winner.
You have a winner. Yes. So then, who's a Bhaskar in your life? Or have you seen Bhaskars around?
I think we all know Bhaskars in our lives, in some form or the other. Like my dad has some 5 siblings, my mom has some 3 siblings, and obviously their kids, they have extended families, and there's always been only one movie star. I'm the second in that sense. And so all of growing up, we've always seen different members of the family struggling in some form or the other, especially financially. And I think that is all of Bhaskar's story, right? Every month I feel like he's a little in a negative balance. Like he'll make X, but his expenses every month are X plus so much. And that's his struggle. And I feel like so much of our country historically has always been like that. I think it's been a lot better of late since liberalization in the past 20 years or whatever. But there are still people that struggle. on a month-on-month basis.
Okay, now if I say take home, I'm saying you've always picked stories that are unique. They've always created some kind of thought when you get out of the cinema. What would this have? What do you think we would have?
But I feel like you've done the same. I think the one thing you, me, I'm sure even Meenakshi resonates with is the fact that the stories are bigger than us. The stories are larger than us. The stories will outlive us. And I think what we're constantly seeking is to find those films and those stories and to create that cinema that is going to outlive us. Our grandkids hopefully can be proud of the choices that we made today.
Yeah.
At the age that we're at.
True.
And this is all I love to do. I feel like I love to hear as many stories as I can and find the most authentic, original ones in that, and I put everything into it to kind of tell that story. But also when it's not quantifiable, the kind of audiences that connect to cinema.
True.
I cannot say we're making this film just for a Telugu audience. There have been films of mine that have resonated with somebody in Turkey or somebody in Bangladesh or somebody in Japan. I don't know.
That's somebody like you on the street. Just saying.
I've grown up.
You don't do that.
I don't like disrupting people in general. I'm not obnoxious. But and the beauty of cinema is I feel like it can transcend borders, it can transcend language, it can transcend
Back in time.
ages. So I feel like if there's something, there's so much of just human drama in this film. And I feel like if that connects and resonates with people and they make it their own in some way, and I feel like if it's a world that they want to keep revisiting, then we've done something right.
Yeah.
So, all that stuff next, but this is the amazing team of Lucky Bhaskar. Venky is not around, but I'll get him also in front of the camera for you guys very soon. But all the best to you,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Thank you.
And I think this is going to be an amazing 31st October for you guys.
Thank you.
It's hopefully.
So I'm saying all the luck of Lucky Bhaskar should be with you guys.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
like all of Telugu cinema is going to root for you. And when Telugu cinema roots, the whole country hears it.
Oh yes.
And that's how things roll here.
Oh yes.
Absolutely.
So all the best to you, DQ, and all
Thanks.
the best to
Thank
you,
Thank
Meenakshi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Lucky Bhaskar on the 31st of October.